What is up, everybody? Nate McAllister here. So I have been putting off making this video because honestly, it's going to make more competition for myself, but I'm going to adopt an abundance mentality here and just share it. We're going to use a tool called Viral View. And if you aren't using Viral View or you used it and canceled it, you need to be using it. I'm going to show you why. So I was talking to my buddy and he was saying, I'm sending 100 messages every day. I'm like, I send a lot too, but my responses are decent. The problem is that it's hard to find products that are worth requesting. And even when I use Viral View, I'm only seeing like 3 or 4 products that meet my criteria. I'll show you what my criteria are in just a second. And he said, I've got pretty high criteria, 65 viral score, 10,000 revenue, and maximum of 4 influencer videos. I said, how are you finding 100 products per day that meet those? I thought he was lying. And then he showed me how to do this. I'm going to show you what he showed me. And then I actually built my own little Chrome extension to make it easier. So let's start by kind of explaining how Viral View works. So when you're in your Creator Connections dashboard, which I'm going to have to blur out here, you can actually come into Open Product View, and then you can see all of these different products. And then you can add filters so it hides certain things and only shows ones that match certain criteria. Cool, right? But what about when you set high criteria, right? There's not a lot of products that have 10,000 revenue, 65 viral score, and a max of 4 influencer videos. So when I click save, all of the products are gone because there's nothing there that matches those, right? So a lot of people did this and then they bounced. They're like, I'm just going to send 4 or 5 messages a day that match my criteria that I can find. There are 100 easy per day. And if you have the higher tier plan of Viral View, which I know is hard to stomach for a lot of people, but if you're doing this and taking advantage of these 100 messages every day, it's absolutely worth it. And I'm going to show you here why. The thing about Viral View, the reason there's nothing here that matches those criteria is not because those products don't exist. It's because they're not on the page. Viral View scans what it can see and the products are not loaded yet. So as you see, there's 557,485 campaigns. There are products in there that match those criteria. The problem is that when we scroll, it's limited to just what it can see, right? So what we're going to do is use this tool that I built called AZ Scroll. I'm going to choose Pick Area, and I'm going to select this area down here. And then I'm going to click the button, and I'm going to click Start. And it's going to scroll. And I'm going to speed it up to, let's do 60. And I'm just going to let it scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll. And if you want, you can also set a timer. I'm just going to let this scroll for a little bit so I can show you what actually comes up after you've scrolled a little bit. Because now we're actually scanning all of these things. Before we were not scanning those, right? So let's give it a second. Blah, 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 blah. And you also want to click Save Picked Area for the site. Make it easier next time you come back. And let's go ahead and stop. One thing to know, it will throttle you if you go past like 20,000. So one thing that you can do is open this up in another tab. And if you can still see it, that means you're not throttled yet. Open Product View, and then boom, now we have some products that meet those criteria. Select, send message. I have my template set up, my template's optimized. I'm able to now send more messages. So let's do it again. Let's scroll even further. Let's actually change the filters. Let's change the filters by potential earnings. I'll go ahead and refresh the page. And then I'm going to click on scan, let it scan for, let's just do 120 seconds, and then come back, let it go. And if you want to test if it's working and see what I'm talking about, clear your filters, open up Product View, and you'll see down here it says 139, right? So it's seeing 139 products. That is a fraction of the available products, right? That's why this is so powerful. So then let's go ahead and just run the scan just for a little bit. Let's just let it go. And I like to keep it at about 60. If you go too fast, it might glitch out. Just keep pressing the start button if it does pause. I'm working on the extension. Link down below to that extension if you're interested in it. There's other ones, but I made this one because the other ones were having a hard time identifying the scroll inside of the page. Like if there's a container like this, it was scrolling the main page and not the actual part I wanted it to. So just to show you what I'm talking about. So that number was really low. Now the number is 521, which means I could have scrolled this for way longer. You can go up to about 20,000 before it throttles you. If it throttles you, it's not a huge deal. I know a lot of people panic when Amazon throttles them. Like if you go to an Amazon page and it shows you the Dogs of Doom, that can be scary, but don't worry, it'll come back. But I do like to not run it too far, because then you can't send the messages if it throttles you out. And again, you just have these 100 messages. It still takes about an hour. I have a VA now working on this. I gave them access to my account. They go in, they send the messages. With 100 messages, if you've optimized your template, which you should, we'll talk a little bit more about the couple things I'm doing here in my template that I think are helping my success rates. Optimize your template, send that. You get products, right? You get products, and more than enough products to make up for the subscription cost, the extra cost for the messages. You can start with just the 20. Like if you don't have the hour to send these, or you don't want to pay someone to do it, you can start with just the 20 and go really far. You can get a lot done with just 20, and you'll probably get 1 to 2 products a day. I noticed like 20 messages for the average creator gets about one positive reply. You'll get other replies where they just, kind of give you a little bit of nonsense, or give you a link to a form, which is then like 50-50 if you ever get the product, right? But that is the biggest use of Viral View. But let's go into a couple of other tactics that we can use with Viral View to easily make up for the subscription cost. The second thing that I want people to know about with Viral View, and this is the first thing that I recommend all new sellers or all new influencers do, is come into your orders and filter out your orders to find the highest potential products that you already have. Remember, these are things that you purchased. So these are in your house most likely, not always. Sometimes they're super old. But you want to scan your store or scan your orders and then filter by highest viral score, and then make videos for those. I skip grocery items. It's just not my thing. I've never really had a ton of success with those. Let me know in the comments if you think I'm wrong on that. But I just go through here and I find the top products. Also, you can export these and then use that CSV data if you want to really organize it. You shouldn't spend too much time early on product selection, is my way I see it. But why not triage things that you know are quick wins? Why not do the things that are high potential? And even me, after 1,000 videos, I'll still come in here and find things like, oh, I forgot I had that. Or my wife will have ordered something that I missed, and then I see it here. So that is a very quick win. You can filter by these, see the viral score. These don't really factor in creator connections always, but it's a good way to get a little bit of a head start. If your first 50 products are high viral score, like over 75, that's a good foundation. Those will make some money. So that is tactic 2. Let's go on to the next tactic, which is a new feature that they just added called brand kits, or media kits is what they call them. Media kits let you create your own page. It's a little URL that you can share with your Creator Connections messages that kind of spices you up. It makes you look more appealing to brands. So if I copy this link and I paste it, it shows people this. So they're able to see how many videos I have. They're able to see my rate card. So I put my rate card, even though when I'm messaging brands on Amazon, I'm usually just saying, send me the sample. I'll give you a video, just kind of show them like, hey, I normally charge for this, but your product has high potential. There's the email for contact to collaborate. There's the links to my socials, and then the specializations. Very basic, okay? That is something that I include in every one of my Creator Connections email templates. It just makes it faster for them to see who I am and what I'm about, as opposed to sending them my storefront. The storefront doesn't tell them a whole lot, right? It shows them if you're a gold or a platinum creator, and then it shows how many videos you have, and they can see kind of your best stuff if you've been pinning them. But this is just a really good alternative to that, and I think everyone should do it. I was recommending people create brand kits like this before, but this makes it easy. You don't have to host your own website. You don't have to do anything like that. You just make it in here. It's so simple. I'm not even going to show you how to make it because it's so straightforward. Awesome feature. So that's feature number 3. The next quick win, this is tactic number 4. This one's very basic, but it can easily pay for your subscription as well. So it is the collect past 48 hours sales. So what happens is you make a lot of Halo sales, and the Halo sales oftentimes have Creator Connections, but you have to accept them to get paid. So let's say you made 5 Halo sales for products with Creator Connection campaigns. This will let you identify those, accept them, and then also submit your content in case Amazon ever starts caring about that. And then you can get paid on them. If you don't have this, you don't get paid on them. easily pays for itself, right? But all you do to run that is click the scan. Then you open up your Creator Connections. Sorry about this. Let me get this out of the way. Open up your Creator Connections. You can also, I could have just clicked on go to Creator Connections. Let's do that, much easier. And then do accept related campaigns. I just do last 48 hours, leave everything else the way it is. Click start, let it run, and then it's going to show you how many of these have been accepted if you had anything that was available. So let that run. Depending on how many you have that day, it doesn't take long. It takes maybe a couple minutes. If you want, there is a free tool called Automa, and I've built out automations that actually run mine on a schedule. Pretty easy to do. I recommend doing this at least once a day. Twice is ideal, morning and night. Okay, the last thing that you should do with ViralView, and I started with Creator Connections outreach, so you would have had to have done this first, but I wanted to cover the best parts first. But you do need to have a good template. So when you send these messages, you need a template. And optimizing your template is something that you should really spend a decent amount of time on up front. So with ViralView, you do get just one template, so you have to make the most of it. I keep it broad, and then I always include my brand kit, like we talked about. I'm interested in these products, and I share the ASINs. The ViralView tech will know what those are, so in those messages, it will show that. And then you also have the additional request template, so this will send if you already have messages with that brand, so you don't have to introduce yourself again. A couple of things to know to include. I said, are you interested in providing a sample in exchange for a well-crafted video, which I publish within 48 hours of receiving the item? Some people don't like to say that. I do it like that anyway, so I just use that as a selling point. Here's my brand kit. You can view my past work, my usual rates, which I'll waive for your item, and my social media accounts where I often cross-post content. I don't say I always do because I usually don't, but I do let them know that that is on the table. Brands really like that. And I put, if you're interested, you can ship the items to my address. And that's it, right? Mess around with yours, tweak it, see if you have anything that that works better for you. Like if you have a huge YouTube channel, maybe lead with that. Just use some common sense and think, what would you want to do if you were a brand, or what would you want to see if you were a brand giving out free products? Imagine an expensive product. What would you expect from a company? So optimizing this is going to dramatically increase your success rates. You can send 100 messages, but what if you can optimize this message so that you get 25% better response rates, right? If you send 100 messages and you normally get 5 replies, if you can improve that, you'll get a couple extra products every day. So huge opportunity there, just something to focus on. But that is it, guys. That's why I love ViralView. And I think even though it is the more expensive option out there, and I still do use and like all the other tools, not all of them, but there are tools that I use and like, I still keep ViralView, and it's my primary tool because of this messaging feature now. And again, you can outsource it, very easy. You can give a VA access to it and have them do it because, like I said, it still does take a decent amount of time. You got to scan through things and just tell them what types of products you want, things that you accept or don't accept. Pretty straightforward. But that's it, guys. Let me know what you think. If you want to start with ViralView or come back to ViralView, use coupon code EAM at checkout. That's going to get you 10% off. Also, the link to my free extension, AZ Scroll, is down below. You can install that. Doesn't ask for an email or anything. It just goes right in there. If you don't like it, no worries. There's a couple of other options. I just couldn't find one that let me isolate the scroll that I wanted. But that's it, guys. If you enjoyed this, be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.